Welcome to Dr. Husain Al-Massrori as he delivered his lecture in the International Symposium, Food Product Development Using Less Utilized Crops, Fruits and Food Waste, Quality and Safety, held on 2nd June 2025 at Sultan Qaboos University, Muscat, Oman. His topic was Integrated Food Safety System in Oman. Dr. Husain is the Director General of Food Safety and Quality Center, Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources, Sultanate of Oman.
Very good afternoon. I will move you from the product development to what's happening in the vaccine, and probably I will be answering some of the questions that's been raised before. I will start by thanking also my previous colleague, Dr. Farqani, who will change now the philosophy from an apple a day to an olive tablespoon a day. Thank you, Dr. Bassem, as well, also, is he? Okay, and I think I have a comment with that regard for the dates. I believe that unfortunately we are wasting around, maybe, don't quote me on the exact number because I cannot remember it, maybe one-fourth to one-third, the exact number because I cannot remember it, maybe one-fourth to one-third, unfortunately, of our products that are not properly utilized. So by developing in the food products and transforming those, I would say, wasted resources, I think we would be self-efficient, rely on the exporting or importing dates from any other countries. Let me start by saying something about the national food control system. Normally, for any national food control system, and probably you know more than me, because my background is not a food science, we need three main things to be available. We need to have a set of objectives, and probably most of you knows what are the main three objectives of any food safety systems. Protecting, of course, the human health, protecting also the consumer, developing the economy. Some people, they think that the Food Safety and Quality Center has nothing to do with the developing of the economy. No, actually we do that. You have to have a well-known scope. What is your scope exactly? And the most important things are what are the elements needed to be there. And normally in most countries, of course it varies from one country to another, but the most commonly thing that you need to have are the food control management, which is mainly the competent authorities. You have, of course, you need to have food laws and regulation, which in Sultanate of Oman, alhamdulillah, we are having almost one of the best. You need also to have some inspection services, laboratory services that we have also, and of course you need to do the community awareness. Now, probably as you know as well, also most of you, that the organizational structure for the national food control normally are categorized into three, shall we say, systems: the multiple agency system. We have the single agency system, which is like, for example, FDA, and in the GCC we have the SFDA, the Saudi Arabia Food and Drug Authority, and we have the integrated system, which we are actually part of Oman. Previously, it was close to the single agency probably, but now we are getting better and closer to the multi-agency system. Normally, such system has to involve three levels, which are the formation of the policy, risk assessment, and management, and standards and regulation, like what we've been talking about for the olive oil, for example, the coordination of the food control activities, monitoring and auditing, the inspection and enforcement, education and training. So the multi-agency system, or sorry, the integrated system has to actually, the integrated system has to actually distribute those, what shall I say, the action between them. But the main competent authority has to oversight all of them. And this is somehow what's happening here in Oman. Oman, the main food law we have in the country is the Food Safety Law, which was issued by the Royal Decree 84 in 2008. So we have one of the somehow oldest food safety law within the neighboring countries. Of course, it's also aided with some other regulation that Mainly, I would say the aided with some other regulation that mainly I would say the animal quarantine and the plant quarantine, plus the consumer protection laws as well, also that they are helping and supporting the food safety law into addressing the food safety issues in the country. Of course, we have some others also relevant laws, including the consumer protection and the plant and the veterinary. We have also now the GCC Unified Customs Law, and actually we are also working in developing a GCC food safety law also, but it's going into small difficulties, but hopefully inshallah in 2026 will be issued. Let me give you a brief on what's happening actually, what is the responsibilities and to whom is being targeted. Normally for any export and import products, it's inclusive to the food safety and quality center are responsible for inspection of any food coming or going through the borders. And we start actually controlling the food safety or managing the food safety pre-borders by doing some sort of accreditation, registration of some establishment before they enter into the market. Once it's in the border, we also do some inspection. And after the market, it's normally the municipalities. And this is somehow true in most of the country. So we control the main producer, and once it is in the market, it should be the responsibility of the municipalities to check that. And this is what's happening. Permit and inspection, pre-border and at border, it is inclusive to the Ministry or to the Food Safety and Quality Center. Once it is entering the markets, we still control the legislation, but we share the permits and the inspection with some other institution. As I said, mainly the permits and the inspection with some other institution. As I said, mainly the municipality sectors. For some others, procedures normally when or the philosophy we follow at pre-border and at border. Pre-border normally we try to follow the philosophy of trying to minimize the risk before it comes to the country. So that's why we go and do some inspection to the establishment in the importing countries. So sometimes we have some inspections, but nowadays we are also relying on the conformities bodies to do such assessment. At borders, we do the conformity, we do the inspection, we do the sampling according to some sort of plans, mainly which is based on the risk, for example, on the visual inspections, plus the risk plan and the establishment record as well. Also, we deal also with different kind of establishments. Some of them are good, some of them they are trying to do some bad things. So according to that, after border, as I said, it goes to the municipalities, but we do also involve ourselves on that. We do, for example, a market survey to follow on for some products. For the importing, it is also our responsibility. So we do normally the health certificate for any kind of product that it should go to outside the country. What are the national authorities working and dealing with the food safety? Of course, the competent authority is the Food Safety and Quality Center, which, as I said, affiliated to the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources. So this is the National Food Control Authority, but we have some other internal authorities in the ministry assisting us also, which is mainly the Directorate General, for example, of Animal Health and of Plant Health. They also help us in animal quarantine and in plant quarantine. I will talk more later on about the center, but we also have some external authorities, like as I said, the regional municipalities, Ministry of Commerce, Consumer Protection Authority, the Ministry of Health when it comes to the human nutrition. And we have, by the way, a National Committee for Food Safety. This is the members in this National Committee are almost all stakeholders, including academia as well. This is the framework for the Food Safety and Quality Center. We have 5 technical departments in the center. Of course, in addition to the administrative and financial affairs, we have a food safety system development. In addition to the administrative and financial affairs, we have a food safety system development, food standard and conformity risk assessment, or food risk assessment, the central lab, and the fish quality control system center. If you allow me, I will go through them. I don't need to go through this slide. So the first one is the Department of Food Risk Assessment Management. I always consider this as a precautionary department, and it's one of the most important department in the center, because it always filter any kind of risk and try to minimize the food entering the country before we do the inspection. So it's strengthening the preventive measure to ensure. The second one is the Department of Food Safety System Development, which is mainly ensuring the hygiene practice in the food production sites in the food establishments. The third one is the Department of Food Standard and Conformity, which is mainly responsible of the product, not of the establishment. So it of the product, not of the establishment. So it ensures the safety and quality of the food products. We have the central laboratory for the food safety, and this is the biggest department that I have. It has almost 2/3 probably of the staff, and it's the back department covering most of the analysis. And we have the Fish Quality Control Center. You might ask why we have a Fish Quality Control Center, because of our strength in the fisheries product as a fisheries, like a fishing industry. The second point is that actually the center was there before industry. The second point is that actually the center was there before moving the center, which is the Food Safety and Quality Center, from the municipality to the ministry. We have 10 municipalities lab, and we have 22 private labs. 17 of them are already accredited. They are having the ISO. 5 are undergoing the accreditation currently. We have introduced what we call them the logistic hub, which is a new concept. Probably it's unique to the country within the GCC. As you probably most of you know, that food come through the borders, and actually our borders are not well equipped to do the inspection. Imagine in the summer it might reach more, the temperature might reach more than 50, and I cannot open what's called consignment for ice cream or for chicken. It will directly be melted. So that's why we are actually now forwarding all consignments to what we call them the logistic hubs, and we have a few. So imagine now moving from such inspection environment to that one. So now we are having integrated facility for inspection and supervision, for laboratory examination, for handling and providing handling examination, for handling and providing handling and storage devices. Currently we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already operating facilities in the pipeline. One will be coming in Salale, which is already under construction, and one will be serving Al Buremi entry points, and the one is coming also in Musandam, inshallah. Why is that? It's mainly to keep up with the regional and global change. By the way, those hubs are actually operated by private sector. Those hubs are actually operated by private sector, are not by the government, but supervised by the government. So it reshapes the relation and roles between the public and private sectors. It also helps in achieving the ministry mission toward community partnership and effective contribution. So it provides partnership and effective contribution. So it provides a suitable environment for the inspection of food shipments, thus ensuring, of course, the safety and quality of the food, protecting consumer health, reducing the food and financial waste, because we can do sorting if we need, for example, instead of rejecting satisfaction with government and food products, enhancing social and economic well-being and quality of life, strengthening international confidence in national food products, enhancing the international reputation of the Sultanate of Oman in food security, and those of the index, the food index might be increased, and of course the food index might be increased, and of course reducing the smuggling and regulating statistical data as well. Alhamdulillah, we have a good partnership and collaboration with many international, national, regional, and international bodies to have a good communication with the Codex Alimentarius. By the way, we are chairing the MENA region representation in the Codex Alimentarius, which is a good achievement. We get it from Saudi Arabia, because if you know that now Saudi Arabia is nominated also as a vice president in the Codex. So by that I can conclude my presentation. I invite you, if you would like, to upload our annual report, the 2024. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Husain Al-Massrori. We'll open the floor for questions.
Thank you, Dr. Husain, for an informative presentation. I have two questions. First, about you talked about the inspection. Do you have surprise random inspection? Like, do you conduct inspections on field?
Oh, yes, of course. As I said, we are not working alone. Let me clarify something. Normally, the the Food Safety and Control Center is responsible mainly on the manufactured product. You are talking about raw foods. We also deal with them, so we don't say that we are irresponsible, no, but we do them with our colleagues in the animal husbandry and the agricultural product. And yes, we have laws, so animal quarantine laws, for example, and we have the specification for the residue. We have set, of course, MRL for most of them. We have set, of course, MRL for most of them. Some of them are totally banned, and we do follow them from the origin. So actually, we have to accredit or authorize farms. For example, we are importing rice from India mainly and Pakistan. Normally, we have to authorize the farm there. We have to and Pakistan. Normally, we have to authorize the farm there. We have to authorize also the storage, the all facilities, plus also any processing. Plus, of course, we do the inspection upon arrival, according to, as I said, the risk plan, for example, according to the visual, according to the well-structured alarm coming from any country, we raise that sampling to 100%. The minimum is like 50%, 25 to 50%, depending on the product. But certainly, yes, of course, we take sample, we send them mainly to the private labs I was mentioning there, specifically those having the ISO 17025. And some of them, specifically those having the ISO 17025, and some of them we bring them to our lab.
Excellent. I'm just relying to the local produce here in Oman.
Oh yes, we don't produce rice. If you are talking about rice, of course, we
no.
mainly
I'm talking
the
about
vegetables.
the
Yeah.
vegetables.
We started, for example, upon the of Silan market, the central. We are there, and we are taking some sample for the fruit, for the vegetables mainly, and fruit as well also. And I mean, I can give you some statistics. The non-compliance to the standards was between 3 to 4% only. Most of them are within standards, and we do, of course, the action immediately to those non.
Thank you for a nice presentation. After a long time, I meet with you. Alhamdulillah. Have you established in Oman the traceability system for the product, like that agricultural product, fish, or other products?
Well, yes, for the processed food, it's very easy because we do it through the manufacturer themselves. They have a traceability system, so we don't have any issue with that. We are traceability system, so we don't have any issue with that. We are having small issue mainly with the fish, because it's coming from traditional fishers. So, but we are now kind of building an electronic system that should help us, inshallah, to trace the fish. But as I said, it's not that yet imported or mainly produced from Oman. We are okay somehow with the agricultural product. We are a little bit not that strong in fisheries product. But if the fish goes overseas, because there is more standards, some EU, we are exporting to EU, for example. More standards, some EU, we are exporting to EU, for example, and EU has a strong what's called needs and parameters to be fulfilled. So for that, we normally do better. But if it is inside the country, we have a difficulty to do the country. We have a difficulty to do the traceability, especially if it doesn't pass by any central market or any other markets.
Okay. Another consecutive question like that. Have you any monitoring system established?
For example, it starts farm to fork to table. So from the establishment themselves, the department I was saying, the food safety system, they go and visit them, they inspect them regularly, and then we take sample from the establishment, and then we take sample from the market. So we follow from the establishment, and then we take sample from the market. So we follow the whole process. For agricultural, as I said, because we have many scattered farms, so the inspection is a little bit exactly difficult for us.
My last question is that in case of food, fish product, huge like that wastage, like that spoilage fish, some are not market value, so they throw it. Have you any plan for food security to this waste to become to the valorization of this product? And this also valuable product like the skin or fish scales, those are exporting directly to China or other countries, and a huge remittance maybe earned by Oman government.
Nowadays we waste nothing. Believe me, we waste nothing. At least the worst can go to the fish meals and fish oil. So there is no waste. I don't think there is a high waste. There is maybe the byproduct, but now CIMAC, for example, I don't know if you know CIMAC, they have developed a fish meal that it utilizing the byproduct and post harvest of the fish. So I don't think the post harvest loses from the fisheries is high. It's getting, because now we are utilizing many things. I agree with you. Maybe we don't have
like the fish meal,
added value.
The production of the fish meal, the remittance value, and if we'll product like that gelatin, other types of component.
We fish oil for human consumption from those fish meals. So they either produce fish meal, fish oil, or oil for human consumption. So we have added now to the added value. We have more added value, alhamdulillah. Still not that good as some of our neighboring countries, but the country is investing a lot as some of our neighboring countries, but the country is investing a lot now in adding to the such processing plants. And the latest is CIMAC, the one I was talking about in Adokom.
Thank you.
Pleasure.